Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Cats TV and Transfer News. And I'm joined today, as always, by Conrad. How you doing, Conrad?
I'm all right, mate. Yourself?
Not so bad. I'm liking your shirt.
I know. I just found it.
Lean back. Look at that. Quality. Must be quality.
To be honest, I actually thought it was going to be crap quality. You know, like when you make your own T-shirts and stuff. It's actually really nice. Like, I think I texted you when you sent it out. I was like, "This is actually lovely," and it's proper. Like, I'm going to wear this most of the time now. And then all it could do with is a massive like QR code or something like that. The people go, "What's this?" And then just start like
people coming up scanning you in the street.
Yeah. You can buy slightly off topic from this lovely T-shirt. You can buy these hoodies which have like a square one here, but on the back they have a large one. And if you scan it, it takes you to a website that just says "fuck off, nosy."
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the society we live in. Anyway, enough of this spiel. We're here to talk about transfers, which at first glance, I was like, there is none.
Yeah.
There's no news, but there's always news. So the first news is we've got to first speak about what we've missed out on. So Tom Cannon obviously went to Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Ben Brereton Diaz
obviously
has gone to Sheffield United as well. They seem to be on a spending spree. Louis Barry, is now under a medical with Hull City. Yeah. Over us, Hull City, really.
Yeah.
And what's the last one? Sorry. Name's gone. Head, help me, quick.
I don't know.
Who have we been tipped with getting?
Akpom.
Yes, Akpom. That's the other one that is now basically said he doesn't want to come to Sunderland.
Yeah, he's more or less from what we've read online. And again, these are not our in the know insights. We're reading out from all the sources, which you can check out yourself on SAFC News now, and you know they link up all the ones that are on there. But we had a check out, and it seems to be he's actually just turning us down because it's us, rather than not wanting to stay and fight for his place at the club he's at or anything like that. I think it's very Middlesbrough-related reasons for not wanting to come, by the sounds of it.
Do you think that's what it is?
It certainly seems that way, and I'm not sure if we gave him a bit of grief if we played him when he was there before or anything like that, and that's probably why. But it just seems a bit of a shame, really, because he is a talented striker. He got 15 goals for Middlesbrough in his sort of best spell in a season. So it's not like he's on the same level as someone like Cannon, who we were after, or he fits the mold of what we were after. But yeah, just not meant to be for him. Not interested in the project and the model, it seems. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're banging our head against a wall because since having a great signing in Lafay, it seems like we get all these rumours and they just disappear, or we even get told they're at negotiation stages, right? And it's just not going through. I wonder if that's wages. Do you think that could be wages?
Potentially. I mean, we're not going to offer the same amount as someone like Sheffield United at this point. Just they're going to be able to spend more than us, having just come out of the Premier League. Same with Leeds and Burnley as well, people that are all around. But we're also very rigid in our model. And yes, we've certainly evolved it in the last sort of few months, especially with the signing of like Lafay and going for some of the players that we have and actually spending large amounts of money rather than sort of going, how's 1 million? For every single player, around our house, you could have a percentage of his next sale if we have him for free now. We're actually offering, transfer fees and substantial ones at that. But it's just, we sat here on the 8th of January and we were talking, God, Lafay already. God, we've done early. This is great. We're actually doing our business nice and early, makes a change for us. And we sit here now on the 27th, 7 days away, because it's a week today, isn't it? We're recording this on Monday as Burnley and Leeds are playing.
Yeah.
We're 7 days away from the window closing, and it feels like every avenue we're turning around is either choosing somebody else or just not choosing us.
Yeah. I feel like at the start of January, I was like, oh, it's not going to be a busy transfer window. Like it's not deadline day window sort of thing because, we're doing all our business early. I feel like it's going to be lastminute.com again.
It's going to be a splurge, isn't it, at the end?
After that Middlesbrough commentary, I'm going to be like, oh, what's going on for about an hour to see what's happening.
Keep both things open, I think, and while you're doing it.
Yeah, this is it. So what people we are linked with at the moment, incoming. First one, Semi Kilicsoy. Kilicsoy.
Is he at Besiktas, is he, I believe?
Or
he is in the thumbnail.
It's the latest striker to be linked with the moves to the Stadium alike, with Sunderland reported to have submitted a loan-to-buy bid for the forward. This is according to journalist Gökmen Özkan, who revealed the news on Assist Analyze. He claims, all these foreign names, I'm struggling with it. He claims that the option rests on the Black Cats achieving promotion to the Premier League, and the fee would be around 20 million euros, approximately 16.8 million pounds. This is from Football League World, by the way, citing the sources there. Ajax are also said to be interested in as well. Now, I did find you got to do your research. I did find further onto that, Solskjaer hails Kilicsoy. The Besiktas manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Besiktas.
Yeah, I just can't say it. Besiktas, is that what it is?
Yeah, Besiktas.
Yeah. There we go. Manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who we all know, has seemingly hinted that he would be reluctant to let top-level Sunderland transfer target Kilicsoy leave this month. So there's both ends of the stick there. That one's from the Echo, and that one is from the 27th today at 12:30. And the positive one is from Football League World, from today, published 5 hours ago.
Okay.
So just a bit after the Echo. So interesting. 2 points. But have you seen much of this lad?
No, I won't even claim to know who he is. I saw his name pop up this afternoon at some point, and I thought, it's a bit early to start that one on there. But like you say, they've sort of ramped up a bit this afternoon. Solskjaer's a new manager there. I don't think he's going to want to just be sending people out willy-nilly without getting a proper look at them.
Well, he's
the
played
opposite of what Roma are doing with Enzo.
He's played 19 games there.
Okay.
Which is 1,000 and odd minutes he's played. So he's played some decent time there. But in 19 games, he scored once.
Okay.
And got 4 assists in the last 19 games he's played. However, before then, he's done really well. Total career centre forward, 82 appearances, 42 goals.
Okay.
That's more than a goal every 2 games sort of thing, 4 assists, etc. And he's had seasons where he did... he was in under-19 Super League, 17 appearances, 18 goals. Super League 23-24, 23 appearances, 11 goals, 3 assists. So yeah,
he seems like he fits our model.
Season. He's not having a good season. That's I think why we might be able to get him.
He seems like he fits our model, but the cost is the evolved part of the model. Do you know what I mean? He's a young striker, and we're trying to get him on the sort of... He's not at his best, but we know what he's capable of. He's still relatively young. I think, was he 19, 20, did you say before?
Sorry. Yeah, he's... where's that going?
I think you said 19.
19. He's 19, yeah.
So I think he's one of those ones that we're looking at going, right, well, there's one that we could easily... If we get him firing, that's profit for us as well. I don't know how much more you get on 20, unless he's going to be, set the world alight, but...
Well, do you know what his value was in January 2024?
No, I do not.
So a year ago, he was valued at 550k.
So it's certainly risen.
So he's shot up in value. So it's an interesting one. I think that would be a good signing. I'm not sure Solskjaer wants to keep somebody who's had 19 games and 1 goal. And I think it's a risk for us.
When a new manager comes in, then they're very... Unless they know the players that they don't like straight away, they're very reluctant to try and move somebody on without getting a proper look at them. And I think he's done 1, maybe 2 games. So it might just catch us at the wrong time, that one. That's all I'm thinking. If he'd been in a few weeks back and this had been coming up now, you'd have been like, oh, maybe he's seen him and he's had enough. He's made up his mind. But I seem to remember the other day they won 3-1 in the Champions League, and I think that may have been his first game as manager. So he's not going to want to be going, right, do you know what I need to do is just throw out these players that I don't know what they're capable of. I'd love it. It sounds great. I just think the timing seems like it's one that it would be weird for Besiktas to go, oh, yeah, go on then.
It sounds, I mean, the way I'm reading it, it sounds like we've put an offer in, so we can only wait and see on that one. I think it'd be another great signing. I think he fits a future model better.
Yeah.
Although he's had a bad season, that could carry on and he could be terrible. But he's 19 and he's rated 10th overall player ranking Super League in Super League. He's rated 8th of all Turkish players.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like almost the cojones that we're throwing about these players who you'd sitting there going 6 months ago we wouldn't have even gone for these type of players. Oh, there is a picture of
this
him.
is the guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have
like six months ago we wouldn't have even gone for somebody like this. Do you know what I mean? And same with Enzo. I really like the fact that they've been quite aggressive with the jump for the sort of targets of players that we've gone for. It's a shame that we didn't get maybe another one across the line already, and that we felt like we're going to have to, 7 days do a mad little rush and end up paying over the odds for Will Grigg again right at the end of January.
Shudders.
Yeah, we'd have all made that same mistake that year. Like, come on, I know it was awful, but we would have all done it.
So money aside, would you think it'd be a good signing?
Sounds like it'd be a class signing for us, especially I think now that Rusin has moved on. I think that was news just the other day that he's been sent out on loan to, I can't tell you who, HK something. But it's a shame it never worked out for Rusin, but I just don't think he fit really, did he?
We'll discuss Rusin at the end.
We'll discuss Rusin at the end. Okay.
Right. Yeah. For me, that'd be a good signing. Definitely fits with the model. It would show definite intent. Semi Kilicsoy. Hopefully I'm saying that right. That's a yes from me. Have you got any extras in between before I go on to the next one?
No, my main ones. This one was Bellingham. Rumours have cropped up again. Are we doing? Are we doing?
No, we'll do incoming. We're doing incoming first.
Apart from that, then it was Akpom at the start of last week was the one we were going for. Similar money to Cannon, and then those have been cooled off in the last 24 hours or so there, but no others from myself that I was reading about.
So it's just me doing all the research, all the work. Shocking.
I have an outgoing.
You just sit there and look pretty in your shirt.
Yes. It's very unlikely, and I almost thought it was one of those that you just sort of forget. I read about Evan Ferguson at Brighton. They're potentially letting him go to leave on loan. There he is. That's him. What a flattering photo that is of him.
Yeah.
He's potentially been allowed to leave on loan just to get some game time. He was, hot prospect a year or two ago, and he sort of hasn't really featured much for Brighton since they've got in João Pedro and since what was the previous manager called? De Zerbi, and then the new one has come in. He hasn't featured much, so they want to loan him out. However, I think it's highly unlikely, because there's a lot of Premier League interest in him. There's talk of bigger teams, such as top 6 teams, coming in for him to build him. So I think it's unlikely he comes down.
But if they want to keep him, they want to keep him, they're not going to loan him to a Premier League club. They want to loan him to the next best thing, which is a team that's looking challenging for the Premier League. So if they want to keep him but loan him out, I think we're a good option. My only bit of hope with this is not just the Echo that's reporting this. This is Fabrizio Romano who's mentioned this sort of thing. And, so we were more linked
earlier on in the season, I think, with him when he wasn't getting anywhere. We haven't actually been linked in there with him this time. It's just, it's been mentioned that they would be willing to let him go. But it doesn't.
Fabrizio Romano reported Sunderland and Leeds United transfer target expected to see a loan exit this week, reported on the 27th of January.
And is that the Evan Ferguson one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I really hope hope I'm wrong. But because I think he'd be class signing for us, but I just don't see it. And knowing the way all the other ones have gone this summer, he'd go Leeds.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me then, if you think he's going to be a class signing, where's his valuation coming from? Because if I'm just looking at the stats, he doesn't look as good as the last player we were looking at.
No, his ceiling was a season or two ago when he sort of, Micah Richards said, burst onto the scene. And I think he started, was it last season as well, with a hat-trick in his first couple of games for us. But then, like I say, they brought João Pedro in. I think they thought they would sort of play together, but they changed it up, and João Pedro then sort of played with Danny Welbeck and instead of Evan Ferguson, and he couldn't really get a look in. But when he did play, he was really good. He was a big handful for them, strong physical player, but he also had a great touch and could hit them from distance as well, linked up well within the team. So you'd think, well, that's similar to how we play. It's not someone who's just a Darren Bent, the ball falls to him in the box and that's it, it's a goal. It's just someone who links up the wide play that we have. So that would fit. Yeah. I think he's fallen on a bit of times where he's not in favour. It's sort of not worked out for him.
He's had 12 appearances this season in the Premier League with no one goal, but it's only 220 minutes in total. So he's not getting full 90s or anything like that.
Exactly. He's not really playing. And is he 19, 20 as well, I want to say? I think he's that age.
Yes, he is 20.
Yeah, exactly. So 20. He's still a young'un. Irish, Big Niall Quinn remake. Here we go.
But I just hate the fact that these Premier League clubs value these players. If you look at his stats and compare it side by side by the last player, he's not as good, right? He's not as good. It's not as good as option as far as I'm concerned, especially on paper. Could be wrong. You got to trust the scouts a bit. But the valuation of him is 40 million on transfer market, and they were talking like upwards to 60. I don't understand where they get the numbers.
No, it was a link. He got linked to like Tottenham and Arsenal in the last couple of years and big money and things like that, again, because of the way he played. And I think it's one of those things, they look at him and go, actually, if we put him in our system and gave him the chances, he'd score more goals, that type of thing. You're a bit like Heskey's that type of player, I suppose, isn't he? Where it was like he did all right at a team down the bottom, but they actually moved him up to Villa and he did better because they were better. Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, he's got 18 appearances for Republic of Ireland, but I mean, that's no big challenge. Yeah. 4 goals for them. But I mean, he's still got his international caps at only 18-year-old. He was playing for the senior team. So there's something about him. I just feel like, for me, as much as, you might think that'd be great, I think the valuation completely, unless it's purely a loan, no option to buy, unless it's purely a loan, he's out of the category for me.
I think it's one of them. I think it would be like a romantics idea of like Niall Quinn reincarnated. Big, tall Irish striker comes, we get under his skin, he falls in love with us, and we get up from Division 1 to the Premier League, and he forms a partnership with somebody, and he leads us forward from there. But we get him at the start of his career rather than at the end. But
can't live in the past.
I'd like Evan Ferguson. I think he would work quite well with us. He wouldn't be a 10, 15 goal a season striker for us, but I think he would help us create a lot more and cause a lot more problems up top. But
if they'd take his true value, which would be about £6 million in my eyes, then get him. But he's 40 million. Come on.
I think if we're offering 13 for Cannon and Akpom, we're probably going to offer similar, if not a bit more, for Evan Ferguson, I think. If we were to go for that,
I think it's a non-starter with what they're asking and what we'd offer. I think the gap would be too vast.
I don't think it would happen anyway. I think he'll go Premier League. I think he'll go somewhere like Leicester, someone like that.
Well, instead of him, how about a £2 million 31-year-old?
Go on.
I'm of course talking. He doesn't look 31 in that picture, but it's Tom Lawrence from. Hang on,
is he at Rangers or was
Rangers?
He at Rangers?
Yeah, he's at Rangers still. I was just checking he hadn't moved on already, but apparently he's coming up. He's expected to leave Rangers before the transfer window closes.
Okay,
which is the EFL's own report. Now, Sunderland fans on X have mentioned this, and this found this from. Oh, we should pick him up. If it's cheap enough, we should pick him up. Blah blah blah. So, I mean, they've mentioned it, but it definitely doesn't fit in our model, right?
No.
30-year-old attacking midfielder / every so often a centre forward.
Yeah, he previously was at Derby in this division though for 5 years before Rangers. He played, I've just loaded up as well. He played 170 games, 36 goals for Derby. Rangers currently, he's played 36 games for them. Doesn't say how many subs or minutes, but it says 7 goals so far.
Yeah.
So, not awful for an attacking midfielder. It'd be interesting to see how many assists he's got. He's sort of done the rounds of lots of English teams, it seems like, as well.
He's that up front Luke O'Nien again, because if you look at his career history, played as left winger 191 times. Do we need a left winger? Do we need another left winger, really?
No.
Second striker 67 times, attacking midfielder 42 times, centre forward 28 times, right winger 22 times, central midfielder 9 times, left midfield 4 times.
But
and
we like that.
He's got goals and assists in every single position.
Well, that's clearly a good thing then, isn't it? That he's effective all the way across the front line. And we like that. And a lot of clubs like that now, where a player can do a job in multiple positions rather than just being, I am this only.
But he's 31.
Yeah, the 31 thing's probably... I don't think we're going to pay $2 million for a 31-year-old. I just don't. Unless that's the model changing again. But, history with older players has shown us that we're not going to do that.
He went from Leicester City to Derby for 4.5 million euros. We're in euros because transfer market are in euros. So do the conversion yourself, sorry.
About four.
Then he went from Derby to Rangers for 5 million euros. And Rangers, since 2022, is being revalued multiple times. Since 2022, he's gone to 4 million, 3.5 million, 3.5, 2.5, 2. Is just his value's plummeting. So I think we could, if he's going to leave, then it's a signing. It's not. We're not paying 2 million, right? It would just contract.
That's the only other thing. Unless we're going to sort of say, well, look, we'll take him off you and cover his wages for the next two years or so, and just sort of do it as a deal like that. You could see that happening. I just think we're still not quite in that market of paying for older players, which is what surprised me about the Ben Brereton Diaz deal back in a couple of weeks ago when they were offering like 13 million for him, and it was a bit like, hang on, he's not a spring chicken, this lad. He's a bit older, and we don't seem to do that. Whereas at least you went with Cannano, he's fairly young. Although Diaz actually looking now, maybe I'm talking out my arse. He's 25, but he's still old by our standards.
Brown's 29.
Who?
Brown.
Alan Brown. Oh yeah, but he was a free, wasn't he? Didn't we pick him up for now?
But I think that's what we potentially could be doing with this.
That's what we do. If we can pick him up for free, and sort of, let's say we just go, we'll take his wages off you, and you just call it a day. Then that is something that we would likely do. But I just it's like you say, it's a position of, do we need that position? I really want us to get an out and out goal scorer, an out and out striker to at least compete with Isidore.
Yeah. There's loads of questions going on here, and loads of different championship teams being tagged in the different posts that say he's been released. Just to continuity, cite the source. I'm looking at the EFL Zone, or the FL Zone, on X. So that's who I'm looking at for that, if anyone's interested. But yeah, if it's free, if it's back up and he's happy to play there, I love the fact he's scored and assisted in all them positions. For me, why not? You never know when you get 3 injuries. You never know when you're going to need to rest 6 players, So I'd take him as backup, but nothing solid yet.
No. That's the worrying part. We're all like, oh, there might be a him. There's a rumor of him. There's a link with him. And we're sitting there going, we've got a week left, guys. We've got one, and you did so well in the first 8 days, and then it feels like every door you've gone to is just go bang, bang.
Now, I haven't pulled it up, so don't quote me, but I think it was SAFC Republic on Twitter who posted a team, and in that he was saying what he'd like, and it was like a new right winger or a right back, I think it was, a striker and a goalkeeper. What do you think about getting a goalkeeper?
I'm all right with Patterson. No, not at the moment. I wouldn't say it's a priority over the striker or a right winger. I think those are the 2 positions we need the most.
I think even Moore's a good backup, right?
Yeah, well, he played about six games earlier on, didn't he? And I think it was only the Coventry one where we sort of went, could he have come out for that first goal better? And even then, could you have come out slightly quicker? Isn't a, did you see he kicked the ball between his own legs and fell over? Like, it's not hideous. You're sort of nitpicking. Yeah, exactly. You're sort of sitting there going, but then we could say Patterson on the game just gone. We're like, could you have come out and claimed that cross that then fell to them for their second? You know, that you're meant to come out and get rid of that. Like,
we could shoulda, woulda, could you all day long. It's got to be the general player over time, right?
His kicking isn't great, Patterson. And he's put us in a bit of trouble, but a few times. But shot stopping wise, he's up there with the best in the league.
Right. So a long kick, if you're not that good at it, fine, no problem. Yeah. Just get it up the field. You're not going to put us in instant trouble. The only thing I think that's an issue is when keepers insist on playing it short, even when we're under pressure. Rolling it into danger areas.
Well, at the start of the season, it was when it came in from the left back, he turned his body and went out to the right back. When it came in from the right back, he opened his body and went out to left back. He started doing this thing where he stops and just plays it into the the single pivots, as Dan Neil would be in there, or Samed as it was the other day. And that's the that's the position that gets closed down like really quickly when they drop deep. So he's sitting there going, just go back to what you were doing best. Just in one side, out the other, out one side, in the other, you know, just go back to doing that. No one had a problem with you doing that. What we've got a problem with is when you're passing it out and it's either not reaching him or the turnover is coming back to us. That's when we're a bit like, hang on, like you can see the whole pitch and you still can't find someone.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so keeper will just put to one side.
Yeah, I'm not asked about a keeper at this point.
Let's talk about outgoings. So, first of all, before we go into rumours, Rusyn's gone.
Rusyn's gone.
He's gone on loan.
Yes.
Do you think we'll see him in red and white again?
I kind of hope, I don't want to be harsh, but no, I hope not.
Do you not think he just needs developing? He's like a little kid.
No. He's not a little kid. He's not a little kid. He's 26, 27. Like
he looks 12 though.
Yeah, he looks about 12. Yeah. He's not, I mean, like, fair play to him. He doesn't half put effort in when he plays. He's running about. You can never criticize his effort. And I think, not that we talk about this game that much, but after the Newcastle FA Cup game, I remember thinking, God, you didn't give their centre-backs a bloody minute. And I know you weren't getting any help or anything like that, but you were out jumping some of them, and some of them are like 6'7", and you're like this big. Like, and you know, you were giving them a go, but he just never had it. He was never in the right positions. I didn't think his shooting was all that good. And the one time he did score from distance was an accident by the keeper at Middlesbrough. Which it was. Like, I can't sit there and go, oh, it was a brilliant pinpoint shot in the bottom corner. It was Chris Packett hands. The keeper let it through. You know, it shouldn't have happened, but hey-ho.
But he scored against, was it Preston as well?
Scored against Preston. I think we won 2-0 just before the Newcastle game, I want to say, because Pritchard scored the other one in that game, I think, from distance. And then he scored against Middlesbrough away. He reminded me of Burstow. It was just like, we just felt like you were just persistently trying him, and it just was quite clear it's not going to happen.
Yeah, loads of energy, just no direction.
Yeah, and just, you know, sometimes you want a player to play bad but still score, and you're sitting there going, I can't fault you, but it's just you're not doing the thing that we're actually here for. And then sometimes you would run out to the side and you'd go, great, now get in the box, and he would then run around someone else, and you're like, no, you're meant to be in there. Like, and that's where you should be.
Yeah, especially coming into the team at a time when we're desperate for strikers and we're making all these young signings, and he's competing against the likes of Mienda at the time and stuff like that, and Burstow at the time.
Hamia, they came in at a point where it was like, we have no nailed down number one, make it your own. And Mienda was doing really well now, but in that season, all four of them just went, no.
Yeah.
And it was just
we'll look really good in training for you, but then after that,
like, you know, and I mean, everyone thought Hamir was like the second coming after pre-season because he scored like 6 games in a row, and it was like, but we were putting crosses in for him, playing it up to him, and then as soon as the season started, it was all on the floor, and it was like,
yeah, we know your strengths, so we're not going to play to these.
Yeah, and then Rusyn comes in, and we start playing it in the air, and you're sitting there going, he's 4 foot. Like, what are we doing? It was a weird season, that one. No, I wish him all the best going forward. But no, I don't want to see him back. It was a failed experiment and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Both parties cut your losses.
But Triantis, he's gone on loan, and he's starting to
Well, he's
look
already
like
been
he
on
could.
loan, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's starting to look like he could come back as a great player. To be fair,
a great defensive mid player as well for us,
Yeah.
actually, not just as a centre back. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's going, and long may that continue, because that's one that we didn't think was coming. But then all of a sudden, you're sitting there going, actually, if Semed doesn't work out, we already have a backup defensive midfielder, or someone who could challenge Dan Neil in the defensive midfield role. Because, I was saying Dan Neil, I think, was better going forward. And I know it was one game. That Plymouth game yesterday, where they actually pushed Job and Neil further forward, it didn't work. It didn't. But I don't know if that's because it's the first time they've done it, and they're new with Enzo on the side, and they didn't know what Semed was doing behind. And we'll get onto it in the review anyway, that one.
Yeah,
but it just felt a bit dysfunctional, that one, didn't it? And moving people about.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So, other outgoings.
Still 0-0, by the way, after half an hour.
Other outgoings is, of course, the biggest rumours flying around at the moment is Bellingham. But these rumours have been going on since
birth.
June. Crystal Palace tipped for 16 million back in summer and stuff like that. Borussia Dortmund, and he's got them ties with that team through his brother, and they developed him. And now it's Bayer Leverkusen. How long could Sunderland really fight offers from Bayer Leverkusen? I'm going to read here. Over the weekend, a number of German media outlets, reported that Bayer Leverkusen were also readying a bid for Bellingham this month, and were prepared to pay a hefty premium in order to push through a deal ahead of Dortmund. We've got a bidding war between Dortmund and Leverkusen. There is no way our board are going to say no if their numbers start to get to silly numbers.
Yeah, if the numbers start getting silly, they're not going to say no, especially when they could just throw that money straight back at a striker. Because what did Bellingham cost us? 3 million, and a little percentage of whatever sale is next to Birmingham. So, it's instant profit for a year and a half of work. And one of those years, it wasn't all that he is now. I don't know. I really hope we don't, because I don't want to rock the boat in the middle of the season when we do if we were mid-table, I'd say, roll the dice, make a change. We're sitting here a couple of points away from automatics. Admittedly, we never seem to take the chance when it comes up to sort of really push on, but we're not out of it by any stretch.
Easily in the running.
You're sitting there going, don't disrupt the team now. Just let it go. And you could sit there and go, do you know what? Even if you said, do you know what? We'll sign an agreement, but only if we can have him on loan for the rest of the season. Just something like, you go, that's, but
potentially.
I'd want to say if we get promoted that we go, but you give us another year in the Premier League if we go up, but if we don't go up, then handshake, see you later on. You can leave.
That's a complicated deal. I don't think
it is.
I don't think they'd go for the promotion one. There's a chance they'd go for lending him back for the remainder of this season.
Yeah,
I could
see they wouldn't
that
do the
happening.
Premier League bit. I just thought I meant for us. I think we want to be in that position where we can go, if we get promoted, will you stay for one more year at least? But if we don't, you're welcome to go once your valuation's met. They'll probably get 20 or 30.
I think we're talking between 30 and 40. If you got a bidding war between Dortmund and Leverkusen for a player like that, for me, he's better than Evan Ferguson. So I'm biased, obviously, but you can see it, But I think, don't get me wrong.
He's got the traits of his brother, hasn't he? So, and his brother's doing really well, so that's really helping.
Massively miss him, not just as an attacking presence, but his defense and his
just the engine.
He's been vital sometimes. Yeah,
the absolute engine of him this season, and which is why, again, we'll talk about it in the Plymouth review. It didn't work moving him on the weekend.
Yeah.
So crazy. I hope it's a non-starter in this 7 days. Just hold on is what I'm hoping. Just hold on. Don't twist. Don't roll the dice. Don't twist now. Just hold on. Get that striker in. Let's have a proper go at it for 5 months. And if it doesn't work out,
Fire sale.
Fire sale. Yeah. Everyone's a pound.
Yeah. But I mean, we've had what we had so far. We've had Chris Rigg interest from United and all over the place, talking of the numbers of 20. We've had Bellingham interest. We've even had Dan Neil interest at 15 million.
Ballard
from Everton,
always
wasn't
gets
it?
interest as well.
Ballard always gets interest.
Will get interest.
I have no doubt Patterson will start to draw a crowd. We produce awesome keepers. We always do. We just can't keep hold of them. So I mean, if the board wants us to genuinely go for promotion, it's not just a case of get us a decent striker or get us a firing on all cylinder striker. I think Isidore could be that. He's just had a bit of a crap time at the moment, and Mienda's a great backup for that. So I do think we're okay on the striker front. However, it's fending off the other teams. It's fending off the offers. That's the hardest bit.
Can I just say as well, when we were talking about, what position, I only think we need a right winger if we're going to persist with Roberts, because I still think that Mienda's doing a better job than him. Granted, he's not as tricky and he doesn't get down the byline as much. However, his goal contribution numbers are and he's becoming, and he's more direct than him, and he'll move into the middle, but still towards goal, not run sideways looking for a shot or looking to bend it like Roberts does on there. It's a bit more like he's directly, or he's then running in to feed it in behind to Isidore. He's looking for the striker options, and I just think, especially in the last 10 games or so, Mienda's been better than him at the right wing and should be playing.
So I think Mienda on the right, Mundle on the left, and Lafay through the centre.
Yeah.
No, Mundle on the left, and Lafay through the centre.
That's what I said. Enzo in the centre.
Oh, I thought you were saying on the left.
No, Mundle should be out there.
I think we're playing Lafay out of his position, which is not a great start for him. He's never going to make a great... He has done well, but he's never going to make a great...
I think it's because he plays well there and we don't have another left mid currently that we think is better than him.
Yeah,
that's probably it. But he's done really well. I mean, he did well against Plymouth as well. Lovely little spells again. But you're just sitting there going, apart from the Derby game, which just chalks off a perfectly good goal for no reason, he would have had an assist.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's as far as we've got with
37 minutes,
our news hunting. But this could start coming thick and fast. We might not always be able to get a show with both of us on, but if there's desperate news that we need to get out, one of us will jump on and do it, or keep an eye on the shorts on the channel as well. So we'll do shorts.
Shorts are a good one.
Yeah, whatever we can to get any information out to you. And don't forget, on deadline day, it's the Middlesbrough game. I'll be doing a live commentary, and I will be doing it this time. I apologise for last time.
Apologise for not cancelling it.
I did cancel it on the community. I just,
There was 9 people waiting. I went on it and saw.
I just left it open as a chat room for them. It was a nice thing. Okay. It was a gesture of good faith. Anyway, never happened. We will be doing a live commentary on the Middlesbrough game. And if time allows, I'll be live before it to look through the transfer stuff. Or will be, depending on Conrad's availability. And I'll definitely be staying on or going live separately after it to take us into the end of the transfer window.
I 100% commit to coming on after the game. I'm not sure on the before. I will check.
I might just start the game stream a lot earlier to go through the news.
That's fair.
Yeah, we will start. We'll do the game and we'll come off and come straight back on with an instant stream for the transfer news. So good. That sounds good. Would you like to say goodbye to the millions of viewers? We've not even asked them to subscribe or like or do anything today.
And you turned off the little bar across the bottom saying subscribe as well after about 10 minutes.
No, it's when you put a picture on it goes off.
I know. No, thank you all for watching. Like you say, we're just trying to find anything just to make it feel like we're actually going to sign a player and really go for promotion. And we just like to read it out for you, just in case you haven't seen it, in case you've got any thoughts on it as well. If there's anyone you've heard of as well, let us know. We'll always have a look into it. And like the video, like Mike says, subscribe if you're new. It really helps us out. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yep, there you go. Can't say any more than that. Don't forget, it'll be linked. Go back to the previous transfer video and comment in there to win one of these.
Click here.
Click there. There you go. We'll put it somewhere, but go back to that video. You'll see what everyone else has done. There's a hashtag to put in the comments and you'll be entered into a draw, which we'll be drawing on deadline day to win one of these shirts. And potentially, I think I will as well, one of the shirts that Conrad's got on now. Will for the runner-up gets to advertise us for free. There we go. All right. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
See you later.